to a business owner said, each, when asked, what would you do with that money? If they could opt out of paying that back to the government, they said that they would either train a new pizza guy or hire a new pizza guy. They would either train a new shoe salesman or hire a new shoe salesman. Well, if every business with 100 employees or less were given this option, and they would hire one more person, there are 1 million small businesses out there. This business model created 1 million jobs in one day. And not anyone has ever even had the imagination, nor the creativity, nor the common sense to demonstrate that the ingenuity of the American worker will be such that we are the engines of this economy and not the federal government.
See, the only thing I find that, as far as Social Security is concerned, that I think sometimes, in a society, especially in a society of ours where we have everything, and we want everything, that we forget about the future. What could happen. Because
I understand perfectly.
We would never experience that type of period.
But Nick, this is the problem.
And it gets lost. And people, if you tell them, well, okay, you invest your own Social Security, I'm afraid that over the years, there'll come a time where you're going to find so many people that didn't do it, didn't follow. What do you do with them?
Well, see, Nick, this is the problem. But there's a solution to this. First of all, Social Security is broke. All of the money that your seniors and your people watching this program, all of those years that you've worked, and they took that money from you and you put it in Social Security, thinking that it was locked away for the next guy, it's gone.
Well,
it's broke.
That's
it's been
why
spent.
We need change. We need people like you in there that now see to it that those things that were supposed to be put away in lock boxes, that they are put away.
Lockbox, nothing. They stole the lock, the box, and the barrel. It's gone. It's out of here. It's evaporated.
There has to be a system where accountability. At the end of the year, there's accountability.
Do you know where the accountability is going to come, sir, right now? The only pragmatic accountability we have now is November 2nd. November 2nd, everyone has to come on out and vote. Use your power to vote. You want accountability? Accountability these jokers out who did not safeguard the monies that you worked for your entire life. And now we find out that the account has been raided, the account has been stolen, the account is broken, and now they're trying to deceive us to say, pay more tax, pay more into it, give it to us again? No.
No,
sir.
You're absolutely right.
No, sir. The best stewards of the money is the person who earns it. Now, how about this? In answer to your question, how about we figure out a way, a business model way, where people can invest into their own money? How about they invest into their own companies? How about they buy stock? How about they turn around and invest? Can you imagine if anyone out there watching, imagine if you had invested $500 in Microsoft when it first came out. Holy moly. Or in this fella Facebook with the social network. Yeah. This kid put together out of a college thing a social network website called Facebook, and he's now worth $25 billion with a B, $1 billion in personal wealth. Only the United States of America can do that. But when they turn around and condition us and brainwash us that the nanny state will have to take care of us because we're not smart enough to invest our own monies, so therefore why learn? That's why we don't know how to do it, because we were dependent upon the government to do it for us. But when we turn around and have to do for ourselves because no one else is going to do for us, well, guess what? Survival instincts kicks in, the ingenuity of the people kick in, and they find a way to make it happen. And this is the only country where we can make that happen. We have to get away from this program, this conditioning and programming. Look at Greece. And I don't mean the show play, I mean the country. The entire population became dependent on the government. The entire population is now enslaved to the government, and the government hasn't paid their workers in 22 months. The people over there are losing their mind.
You think most of Europe is like that? I mean,
Because socialism doesn't work.
I see it happening in Italy. And in Italy, they have it's socialism, but it's sort of a democratic socialism, like a combination of the two. And
none of it works. None of it works. We live in the freest, wealthiest nation on earth, not by coincidence. We live in the freest and wealthiest nation on earth because we have the ability to invest our own money, to create our own wealth. So it's rise and fall based on our own merits. There is no such thing as an equal playing field along anything. Why? In basketball, only the best, the strongest, the best athletes can compete. That's like saying, well, how about give the chance to the overweight, out of shape guy who doesn't know how to even bounce a basketball? Shouldn't he have an equal chance? No, he shouldn't have an equal chance. He should have an equal chance as well as everyone else to compete. And if he does not rise to the competition, then he should turn around and be the guy who stands out front selling tickets to the basketball game. We have an ability to make our own money, create our own wealth, and create that wealth and pass it on to the next generation. When the government steps in and interferes with that and intercepts that, the government steps in the middle and says, wait a minute, not only are we going to take the wealth you create, but we are going to take it before you can pass it on to the next generation and keep a cycle, a vicious cycle of dependency. When the signers of the Declaration of Independence signed it, they signed it with the words independence. What did they mean by that? Did they mean to be independent from England and the king, but to make a free people dependent on the government for sustenance? No, it was to be independent of the government and create the environment where we can flourish on our own sustenance, where we can flourish from the fruits of our own labor. And we have done so quite successfully. And at this stage of our game, at this stage of our national life and our economic life, we do not need the government stepping in and saying, you're not smart enough to invest your own money, we'll do it for you. Well, look what they've done with it. Social Security is broke. They went in there and raided the Treasury and took it. It's not there. Then they're deceiving us to say, oh, yes, it is. Give us more. Then on top of it, they turn around and take the money that we do work for in the 50, 60, 70% range, and then squander it that we are in a $1 trillion hole. If this was a business model, if this was the United States of America Incorporated, and we were the bosses and they worked for us, would you rehire an employee who just turned around and put you in a $1 trillion hole? You'll fire him. If any of your employees of any business, that you entrust with your business to do his job, and then when you turn around and open up the books at the end of the month and look that he squandered your money, he didn't make any money for you, and he took your money and then lost it, now he wants you to rehire him, what are you going to do? So on November 2nd, all of our employees who took our money, squandered it, put us in the hole, in the red, and now they're asking us to rehire them. What are you going to do about it?